Who is down on the farm today? It's an LBC caller. And they're really not sympathetic towards the farmers' plight of now having to pay inheritance tax on their farms. See if you agree with the caller's thoughts and feelings towards the protesting farm owners.
I'm not sympathetic to their cause. For every farmer bleating about being cash poor, asset rich, there are 1,000 people in this country who are cash poor, asset poor. And these multi-millionaires, because that's what they are, even though it's in asset form, are whinging about making a contribution to help these people.
If you're forced to sell your farm to make that contribution?
A couple of thoughts on that. The first thing is that anyone in their 80s, as your second contributor said, anyone in their 80s who hasn't passed on their farm has got problems with their children. They have bigger fish to fry there. And I also note that despite these claims that there's these nonagenarian farmers hanging around, clinging onto their farm and working all the hours God sends, not one journalist on their side has been able to produce this fictitious individual. So it's really easy for them to avoid it if they want to. And the other thing that I would say
on that point, if it's so easy to avoid if they want to, and if it's only going to generate, I say only, but it is in the grand scheme of government spending, it's only expected to generate 500 million maximum.
Yeah.
What's the point of doing it? What's the point of winding people up for a relatively small sum of money?
Well, there's a morality issue here as well as an economic issue. You know, why should everybody else pay inheritance tax and not these very wealthy people? And the biggest threat to farmers actually isn't inheritance tax at all. The biggest threats to farmers are climate change, Brexit, and supermarket bullying.
Totally agree.
And yet these farmers are rallying around. I mean, Morrison's speaking up for them. I mean, what's that about?
Andrew, I share your concerns about that. And indeed, Guy Singh-Watson said exactly the same. Andrew, lovely talking to you.
Click here for another celeb, politician or farmer down on the farm.